keep people safe like President Trump, that's something that should be applauded.
On ABC's This Week, Blanche said the system worked, adding the suspect, identified as Cole Allen, could face federal charges as soon as today. President Trump is accusing former President Barack Obama of treason in a series of overnight social media posts. Trump shared content alleging a 2016 smear campaign tied to Russia and again suggested prosecutions without providing new evidence. And NBA star Tyrese Halliburton is addressing online speculation about his personal life. The Pacers guard explained viral photos involving his white fiancée Jade Jones and her friends and family reflected his upbringing in Wisconsin, saying most of his circle is made up of people he's known since childhood. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Recall 67A mobile appointments are now available in your area. We come to you quick, easy, and under an hour. Complete the recall to get $500 plus a warranty worth thousands. Schedule today at CummonsRecall.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The NBA dipped into the paychecks of Lakers guards Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard. Both were penalized by the league for confronting the referees after the Lakers Game 4 loss in Houston on Sunday. Smart was fined $35,000, Kennard $25,000. The Lakers have a 3-1 lead over Houston in the best of 7. Game 5 is Wednesday night at Crypto.com. The Lakers will play the Oklahoma City Thunder in the next round if they eliminate Houston Wednesday. The defending NBA champions swept Phoenix Monday night. Dallas Mavericks forward Cooper Flagg was voted NBA Rookie of the Year at age 19. Flagg is the second youngest NBA player to win the award. LeBron was the first. He was also 19 when he won Rookie of the Year in 2004. Flagg, the number 1 pick in the 2025 draft, led the Mavericks with 21 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 4.5 assists per game. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
You have something to say, and we want to hear it. KBLA Talk 1580 is engagement radio, not outrage radio. A place where your hopes, your frustrations, and your ideas are welcome 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Real talk, real people, real Los Angeles. KBLA Talk 1580, the station that sounds like the city looks. Tune in on your AM radio dial at 1580. Download our free KBLA 1580 app or listen live on our website at KBLA1580.com.
Unapologetically progressive.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. First. Me and Dominique DePrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DePrima. Go sis. Go sis.
First things first.
Good morning, grand and good morning. How y'all doing? Welcome First Things First. I am James Farr. I'm sitting in this morning, sitting actually all week for Dominique DePrima, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about. We're doing all week election coverage. As you know, ballots go out in the mail like on next Monday. So you'll be getting ballots in the mail, and we are curating conversations with candidates all week, and we're going to do that. Also, reminding you that you can follow us on social media at KBLA 1580 across all the social platforms. If you want to follow me, I invite you to. I'm at James Farr Live. I am also across all of the social media platforms. Phone lines are going to be open today, 800-920-1580. That's 1-800-920, and I see the phones are lighting up early, so we're going to get some folks in here to talk with us this morning. Let me tell you how we're going to do this today. It's usually a Talking Point Tuesday, and we're going to squeeze in some of those talking points. In our third hour, I'm joined by Pastor Tullis with the Wheeler Baptist Church. We're going to have a conversation of what's happening in Los Angeles in the community. Always a good brother to talk to. He's on the ground, in the streets, but also serving a congregation at the historic church. In the 7 o'clock hour, I told you yesterday I wanted to talk with Dr. Nicordelai Corte, so he'll join us in the bottom part of that hour. He was present at the White House Correspondents' Dinner when those gunshots went off. I want to share with you what he experienced, what we should know that's happening in Washington. He is also the host of A More Perfect Union, which airs right here on KBLA from 4 to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday, weekdays. We're going to catch up with him. Also in that hour, we are joined by Angie Christides. She is a candidate for Los Angeles Superior Court judge, seat number 14. We're going to talk with her. I told y'all we're bringing these candidates. A lot of times people don't pay attention to the judicial candidates until, unfortunately, you are in front of a judge and you question, how was that decision made? Well, it's your time to learn more about those candidates, and we're going to bring her to you and ask her some tough questions, why she wants to be in that seat. But kicking it off, Ed Sanders. He is the president of ES Advisors Group, a public affairs consultancy with over 20 years of experience implementing public policy, advising electoral campaigns. I got some questions. And directing community-based and business growth initiatives. In addition, Mr. Sanders is a contributor on Fox Soul and a regular contributor. You know him here on First Things First. Brother Ed, good morning. How are you, sir? Did we lose Ed? All right.
Good morning, James. I'm sorry I came off of mute, but good morning to you. Saying what a joy it is to wake up and have a conversation with you.
Absolutely, brother, because I was going to text you and say your Cash App didn't clear. I need to rewrite your intro, man. Man, what a world, right? And all the things, and we're gonna get into some things, Ed, because I'm equally as excited, but probably more excited to always be in conversation with you. And I think the last time we talked, you were collecting cans to get either World Cup tickets or Olympic tickets. How did that work out? Because I was priced out of the $28 tickets for the Olympics.
Yeah, I don't. It's funny. I don't think I actually submitted it properly because I didn't get my email. So, hopefully I can find some tickets on the come up, as they say.
Oh, you gonna holler at the brother over on the corner, right? I'm
gonna do it the old school way.
Old school,
and run in through the back.
Yeah, you buy a pendant and the ticket comes with it. I understand because scalping is illegal, so you gotta do what you gotta do, man. We are in a crazy time, right? And I imagine, Ed, every generation kind of thinks that the time they're in now has to be the craziest time, but I don't know, brother. And I don't want to be in competition with with other generations, but this is nuts. 3 times in our lifetime, President Trump, there's been an attempted assassination. Is he attracting the violence? What's going on there, man?
Oh man. You're going to hit me right with that one.
Oh,
yeah. I was telling a friend the other day, I was like, I don't want to go down the path of believing the internet theories that this is concocted, but I'm going to throw that out there. I'm going to let that sit. I'm not altogether sure what's real and what's not with this administration. But nonetheless, the idea that the president of the United States has been in, multiple events where gunplay has been at issue, and particularly the one in Pennsylvania, I think, where that the firefighter had been killed. He is as polarizing as a personality as you can get, and polarizing in a way that that challenges your morality, right? Like you could be polarizing. Like I guess the far right would say Barack was polarizing. I don't know that he was polarizing in a way that challenged their morality, right? The way I think Trump challenges a good number of us on what's right and wrong. And that's going to evoke some emotions. So, it is.
Definitely. Well, I mean, here's the thing. It's energy, right? I don't think President Obama, and I've had my critiques, but one of them wouldn't be that he kind of showed up with this tough guy, kind of holding himself in such a way that invited, right, that type of thing. And he had the military, the most powerful military, well, questionably, because we struggling in Iran right now. But I just didn't see that energy from any president, for that matter. And what we're going to do is, because we got a whole lot to unpack this morning, and when we come forward, I want to continue ever so littly about this political violence and this third Trump assassination, as well as, we got the governor's race coming up, ballots are out, this billionaire tax, and we'll frame all those up, and I hope you can help lead us through them. Ed Sanders, James Farr, Miles Lowe is in the booth. Phones are open, 800-920-1580. Get in with me and Ed. We got a lot to talk about.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, host of The Voice of Reason, weeknights at 7 p.m. here on KBLA Talk 1580, with a personal invitation for you to join me and Insight.me as we present The Healing Box, live at Inglewood's world-famous Miracle Theater, Saturday evening, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Look, I understand your attachment style has been running your life like a rogue algorithm, and nobody has had the courage to press pause. Until now, Dr. Bakoya McCall and yours truly are curating a night where clinicians, spiritualists, and an all-star panel of Black woman healers like Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, Dr. Jashana Johnson, and spiritualist Precious McGill will join some amazing spoken word artists and the legendary comedian Louis Dix to diagnose, disrupt, and heal your relational wreckage in real time. Listen, bring your trauma. As a matter of fact, bring your baby mama. No, bring your testimony. And if you're still texting your ex at 2 a.m., baby, you're not just invited, you're the target demo. Tickets are moving fast, so grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before your dating history gets flagged as a pre-existing condition. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you there Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt? Angela was. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $80,000. Felicia was having health problems, got behind on her taxes, interest and penalties were adding up. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $15,000. Civic Tax Relief is a professional tax negotiation firm that can protect you from the IRS. If you're getting collection letters, call Civic Tax Relief for a free consultation. They will go to work helping you discover all the relief programs you may qualify for free. James James owed the IRS $37,000. Civic tax relief represented him against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, he did not owe the IRS anything. If you are in trouble with the IRS, call Civic Tax Relief for your free consultation now. 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257. Get a free consultation and real tax relief. Call 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Well, you're not getting back to Dominique DePrima. You're getting back to James Farr, and I'll take it the second favorite host, if that works, Brother Miles and Ed. Ed Sanders is joining me. We are in this first hour. We got such a packed show today, and as you know, Ed and I, before we came forward, we were talking about the Trump assassination attempt, right? And you know, this is the third time that we've seen such. I mean, obviously, the back in August of, I think it was 24, he hadn't yet won the office, but it's nonetheless, it's still the third assassination attempt. Ed, is there some concern folks should have about political violence?
I mean, always there should be, but you know, I don't think so. You know, I think these are some interesting times, but I don't think it's, you know, there is always an incident, right, that takes place. But when you think about how many elections take place across this country, whether for city council or state, you know, there's, you know, thousands upon thousands of elections and candidates that get conducted without some measure of violence. And so while, you know, these are some high-profile incidents involving the President of the United States, I don't think it's fair to say that political violence in the electoral sense is prevalent.
I mean, I'm concerned. I was talking with some, what is it, Gen Alphas, Gen 2 or 3 rungs down, right? College age students, right? And
right.
and the normalization that the lens that they were seeing this world in this current election cycle. And just, you know, perhaps it's just this presidency. I mean, that's all they have. They're far too young to even, you know, harken back to an Obama presidency. They were aware of it, right? But they were children. And so all they've, I believe, seen is the degeneration of civility, decorum, and this, you know, they just kind of have, you know, normalized violence. That's what I'm concerned about. What do you say?
Yeah, I know that's true. I mean, like, you know, there is a generation that was born and President Obama was their first president, right? And
my daughter's one, yeah.
There'll be a generation where Trump, you know, was the dominant political figure through 2 different terms, and you know, yeah, he'll have an impact for sure, but you know, I think all of us hope that there's some measure of decency that comes after him, right? Even amongst Republicans, and certainly that there's not a rebound candidate on the Democratic side that sort of equals Trump in their bombasticness. But no, I mean, from a violence standpoint, I still don't see that. Now, you know, this generation has also seen political violence on a larger scale. Like if we're looking at the ICE and the immigration and the use of force in that space, that's political violence as well. And so I think using force in that way, I think they're seeing somewhat more of it. And you could argue that as well, but
I mean, I think with
violence against candidates, I don't know.
Right,
I don't think so.
With social media, with everyone having a recording device in their hands, I think you couldn't argue that this generation, this contemporary that we're seeing, they are seeing America in its most violent way, and the perpetrators of it, for the most part, is the government.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, we're seeing ourselves, on the domestic side, and we're seeing ourselves on the international stage, use violence, a lot of it, and it's pumped into your TV in ways that, or into your phone in ways that it hadn't been 20 years ago. So yeah, I agree. I don't, you know what I mean? Like the amount of violence that we're inflicting in Iran, hasn't met the level of violence that we inflicted in Iraq yet. And, so I can't measure it, side by side that way, but at the same time, you're seeing it on your phone in real time. And so this generation is digesting that a lot differently than we did.
Yeah, it's a lot. I want to move us a little bit forward. Speaking of, elections and governor's race, right? This one has really, to me, gotten interesting because I've been watching all of the ads, right? It's just, and this is in your wheelhouse. I don't know if you're ready to make a prediction yet, and if you want to share one, by all means. But I'm a little confused now. We've had the field is still too populated for Democrats. Like, I'm genuinely concerned that we could end up with two Republicans at the top of the tick, and I'm just looking for someone to disabuse me of that, right? Because it's not out of the question that California could eventually be a red state if we continue on this path.
Yeah, I don't disagree. It would be a shame, right? It would be a shame for a state that the majority of voters of a likeliness to elect a Democratic governor if they lost it. But this to me is I'm still watching, and I think I would count myself as someone that isn't committed to the candidates in the race, and the purpose and the point is, they haven't moved me to say, that's this guy is saying, or this lady is saying exactly what I need to hear right now. And a lot of it is, the electorate, just simply hasn't dialed in.
Why do you think that is? Because I think I'm with you. I don't think people are paying attention outside of the bombarding of ads that are spinning narratives.
Well, that's just it. They're spinning narratives, and I don't think you're hearing a true plan on vote for me. I'll do this, and this will help you. Right? It's sort of narratives and. And a lot of this is there's a lot of money being spent on these ads right now, and that you can spend money on ads and still not talk to people, and clearly that's what's happening here. The Swalwell scandal, move chess pieces around on the board, but I still don't feel like Californians are dialing in.
Swalwell flipped the board. It didn't just move the pieces around. I think it completely flipped the trajectory of who were likely the two top Democratic candidates, and you went right where I was wanting to go with the Swalwell thing. I'm trying to understand. We're civilians out here. We don't do the consulting with candidates, and in the spaces that you're with in those conversations and understanding oppositional research to find out what are the flaws, right? And maybe the flaw. I know, biblically, no sin is greater than the other, and I'm not looking at whether a guy, eats cheeseburgers too much, right? But how the heck does someone with what is alleged in his background think that it won't be found out? I mean, you were good in one office, and you got away with it, perhaps, allegedly. What are these people thinking in this office? Is it that rare air?
You're asking a $1 million question, and peer into Swalwell's mind. I
mean, but I'd imagine you talk to them, they lie to you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think everyone has something in their background, right? Like that you don't want on the front page of the LA Times. You know what I mean? Like people live their lives and sure. You could. I think everyone would now say, yeah, I've got some deep dark secrets somewhere. I just don't want on the everyone to know. But when you stand up to represent people in an elected fashion, like certainly to do stuff like that when you've been elected, right? Like I get it if it was like before the time when you ran, and I think people would, they can judge that and choose to elect you. But when you violate the public trust once you're elected and then go into it, that I think that's why you see Swalwell fall as quickly and as urgently as he did. Now, why he would run, he's he like everyone in the race wants to be governor, wants to be president, right? Like they're ambitious in that way, and so ambition will blind you, and clearly he thought it wouldn't come out.
What happened with constituents just being comfortable with their electeds lying to them, right? I thought I thought that was the line that we expect them to not be honest all the time, but to see this. Any idea who you think should drop out at this point?
I mean, honestly, you're kind of waiting. I don't know what I'm waiting for, honestly. I don't know if I'm waiting for the party to try to fix itself by using, national leaders to endorse a candidate. Mm-hmm. There's, you look and, none of the key national leaders have weighed in on any of these candidates. And I always thought that, if it really looked like the two top Republicans were going to get in, that you'd see a national movement to tap a Democrat. I haven't seen that yet, or at least I don't feel that yet. But that's a tactic, and that's just a campaign tactic to me. But, ultimately, James, I think, you and I would agree that we haven't heard the plan that's going to impact our lives for the better, right? Mm-hmm. And we're not moved in that way. I want to know who's going to strengthen our education system for African American children in this state, and how are they going to do it? That's what I want to hear, and I want to hear who's going to create the opportunities for Black businesses to get started and strengthen. I want to hear that. Mm-hmm. And, and I want to know what you're going to do to do that. And, that's not what I'm hearing on my social media, right? Like when I open up my social media, I don't see that. So, so I haven't made my decision yet.
Well, I know it is Talking Point Tuesday, and I hate this phrase, but word salad, right? But all I'm seeing and tasting from these candidates is potato salad with a whole lot of mayonnaise. And
with some raisins.
With some raisins in it. That's Ed Sanders. We're getting this morning started talking about the election. More coming when we come forward. Ed, I want to get into this billionaire tax and LAPD and the economy, right? I'm confused about all this spending that I see on drones and gas and a whole host of other things. Stay with us only on KBLA Talk 1580. We got your black.
More of First Things First with Dominic DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Washington State's Black Attorney General Nick Brown is suing Albertsons, Safeway, and Hagen over their buy one, get one offers.
Our investigation found that this deceptive practice applied to all sorts of advertised deals on common products that every Washingtonian is buying.
The lawsuit alleges prices were inflated before the deals, misleading shoppers in more than 3 million transactions and generating nearly $20 million in deceptive sales. A third suspect has pleaded guilty in the 2022 murder of Run DMC's Jam Master Jay. Jay Bryant admitted helping others access the DJ's Queen studio ahead of the ambush. 2 men were previously convicted. And Fortnite will begin issuing refunds today for in-game items linked to singer David. Players who purchase the content can get immediate refunds after the artist's arrest in connection with the teen's death. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Recall 67A mobile appointments are now available in your area. We come to you quick, easy, and under an hour. Complete the recall to get $500 plus a warranty worth thousands. Schedule today at CumminsRecall.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The NBA dipped into the paychecks of Lakers guards Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard. Both were penalized by the league for confronting the referees after the Lakers Game 4 loss in Houston on Sunday. Smart was fined $35,000, Kennard $25,000. The Lakers have a 3-1 lead over Houston in the best of 7. Game 5 is Wednesday night at Crypto.com. The Lakers will play the Oklahoma City Thunder in the next round if they eliminate Houston Wednesday. The defending NBA champions swept Phoenix Monday night. Dallas Mavericks forward Cooper Flagg was voted NBA Rookie of the Year at age 19. Flagg is the second youngest NBA player to win the award. LeBron was the first. He was also 19 when he won Rookie of the Year in 2004. Flagg, the number 1 pick in the 2025 draft, led the Mavericks with 21 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 4.5 assists per game. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now. Things are changing fast and no one knows what comes next. Times like these make you realize just how important it is to be prepared. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. They're America's #1 most trusted resource for survival food, solar power, water filtration systems, and more. Go to preparewithamerica.com to unlock a special offer that'll help you get ready for whatever comes our way. Go to preparewithamerica.com to see the special offer right now. That's preparewithamerica.com.
My name is Tyrone Owens, and this is my home for 23 years that burned in the fire. Me and my wife, Charlene, we had this whole yard decorated every year.
This was the house that sparkled throughout the entire neighborhood on all the holidays. It's a community that will never be the same due to the negligence of a utility company. So I am pretty upset about that.
We were nowhere near being able to rebuild with our insurance. It's going to cost $1 million to put your house back up.
I want to get back to that point where we were before the fire. I'm starting to get emotional, but I'll work through it. LA Fire Justice has been wonderful for us. They're just caring people. I mean, we have all faith in them.
Big ups to LA Fire Justice, who's given us hope to rebuild 100%.
Advertisement. Douglas Foster, 221 East Walnut Street, Suite 100, Pasadena, California, 91101 is the attorney responsible for this ad.
LA Fire Justice is proud to sponsor Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ziprecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ziprecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Why must you swoop through the hood like everybody from my hood? It's up to no good.
KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to First Things First. I'm James Farr. I am sitting in for Dominique DePrima all week, and I am joined by Ed Sanders, and one of the brightest minds. Ed, as you well know, is a contributor here on KBLA 1580, as well as a contributor on Fox Soul, and brings a few decades of experience in implementing public relation policy, advising electoral campaigns, and directing community-based business growth initiatives. Ed, we were trying to make sense of this governor's race and here in California, and who should and shouldn't drop out. I'm curious, right? Because we keep hearing, obviously we see gas going up as a result of the war or this conflict that's in Iran. We see airline prices going up, but we just recently, I think I heard yesterday, CNN reporting that airlines are less likely to adjust pricing even if the gas comes down. Why? Because people are still buying at this price. So I'm just confused. Are we on our way to a recession? Is this idea that California is too expensive, and I'm throwing a whole lot in there, but where are we now in terms of this California economy?
That's James, is a good question. It's just a question of who you ask, right? Mm-hmm. And I think there are certain segments of the economy that are doing really well, and then there are others that feel the pinch of being being hit by a healthcare emergency, and now you're facing bankruptcy, and there's sort of a tale of two cities, right? And I guess it's always kind of been that way, but certainly the Trump economy, allows for first tax cuts to the wealthy, and then overcharge or runs the stock market as high as it can, right? And so if you're playing those financial scenarios out, you're doing all right. So I think ultimately it's just a question of who you ask.
I've let me protect someone's identity, but I spoke with someone that works in the defense industry, a brother, right here locally, has learned to shrink in that space, to exist in that space, being the only chip in the cookie, if you understand what I mean. Right. And he, reluctantly talked about, bonuses. And I'm like, the war just started, right? And kind of processing it through how it will benefit him and his family, and, may even stay around on the job for an additional 5 years and before he retires, because it's a good time to be in the aerospace, defense, radars and all of those things. So is it that for those people, they don't mind the $7 gas prices, and the shift worker is going to continue to struggle?
Yeah, that's the point, right? If your 401k and your stock portfolio is driving up, 24%, 23, 22% a year, you're feeling good, right? Like, you're outpacing the rate of inflation, And so, that's really good. If that's not the case for you and, your disposable income, your monthly budget is crunched by the cost of gas, then this doesn't work for you. And, that's the basic sort of answer there.
No, I'm reading. I read a LA Times article this morning, and it jumped off the page because obviously we'll get to the billionaire tax and the conversation that billionaires and corporations continue to leave the state of California. And here's one San Mateo-based company, Skydio, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, that's investing $3.5 billion into domestic manufacturing over the next 5 years. They're a drone company, right? They are equipping the military with the drones and the weapons. So it's a little confusing. Are companies leaving California? This article certainly argues differently that more are continuing to come. So I'm trying to figure it all out.
Look, I think depending in you can do northern or southern California. There are plenty of reasons to come to California, settle your company. You're going to find a highly talented workforce here, and so this is California has always been a global economy. Sits on the Pacific Rim. We could sit here and sell the bona fides of why California, why do business in California. You will hear these stories from the right on, some guy that moved his company to Texas or something like that. And, most people want to live near the coastline and have a significantly higher quality of life. That's my dig at Texas,
and most billionaires don't. Ed, you probably have 3 or 4 homes, and I'd like to borrow the Aspen or the ski home one winter season if you open.
Yeah, come on down.
Yeah. but most I don't know. I'm not a billionaire. I don't pretend to even know any. Right? I assume that they have multiple residences, right, where they can choose to live, either seasonally or what may work best for their tax strategy. And so this idea, I just keep getting confused when I hear Republicans on the right, as you were saying, talk about how difficult it is to do business here. I don't see that. But my concern is, where's the pipeline, right? Where are we? And when I say we, I mean us. And when I say us, I mean y'all. I'm talking about the black community. How do we get into those spaces so that we are able to participate in what looks like to be a booming $1 billion economy? The morality of the war and technology aside.
Well, I think we've always known this, right? I'm a parent, and it may be too late for me to move into the technology industry. Maybe not. It probably isn't, right? But my hope is that through education, my kids have a chance to choose a career. And for most of us in the community, the question around education is, what is the quality of education that our children are getting, right? And can it prepare us? Can it prepare the children of our community to go to college and to your point, take advantage of, the upswings in the economy? Mm-hmm. And, to bring it back to sort of the politics, this Trump administration has really moved to cut federal resources that flow back to the states, right? And it's pushing the states into different pieces. Like our community and this state, we can't stand for severe cuts to state revenue and services that we need, right? We need a strong education system. We need a strong healthcare system. And so if the healthcare system sees $3-4 billion not contributed to it because Trump wants to give, the wealthy tax cuts, that puts our community in a bind. And to sort of wrap a bow around it, that's why you see a healthcare billionaire tax get put on the ballot, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's, you've pushed the people too far, and they're saying, okay, look, if you're just going to give all these tax credits and basically defund our services, we're going to say no to that, and we want to fund it. And so you move to find the resources, and the resources are targeted from those that benefited from the tax cuts, the billionaire tax cuts. That's what Trump came in and did, and we're saying that that this billionaire tax is saying that it should be redirected back. If it has to be done at the state level, then it can be done at the state level. So.
Is that billionaire tax
it's sort of a wraparound game, right?
Yeah, but, yeah.
There are some minimal expectations that we have because we're trying to improve the lot and the chances of our community.
Yeah. Is that billionaire tax, is that the solution? I mean, they're looking at the writers of the bill, a 5% tax on net worth over $1 billion, which would affect roughly 200 Californians who resided in the state from January 2026 to January. So basically this year. Is that the solution?
I mean, no. I mean, the solution should be legislative, right? And it should, you would want a Congress that would, pass a federal, tax bill that fairly allocates resources, across to meet the need, right? Mm-hmm. And you start there. And, if you don't get it, then yeah, I think you've got to move to some solutions. But I think it's important to understand that the cause of this is the fleecing of our federal government, right? Like the name of this thing is the billionaire tax, and so you get caught into this question of, are you just soaking the rich? No, the rich have already fleeced you.
Right. They've already won.
Right, they've already. You have been.
Maybe we could simply explain it to folks what a clawback is, right? Like, no. This
exactly.
Is that's Ed Sanders.
Exactly.
We're in conversation. First things first. And Ed is helping me to understand. And Ed, if I had, you need to do like a weekly something online or something where call it Ask Ed for some of us who are curious, and you certainly can help us navigate through that. Ed, when we come forward, we're going to continue this conversation only on KBLA. First things first, we got your black.
Where the overlooked become unmissable. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
You better work.
She's rooted in culture and rising in power. Los Angeles City Council member Karen D. Price Jr. invites you to the District 9 Women's Leadership Summit, a powerful gathering celebrating the women who shape our communities. Join us Sunday, May 3rd from 1 to 6 p.m. Registration is open now, but space is limited. District 9 residents receive special priority. This event is free. Call 323-846-2651 to reserve your spot. That's 323-846-2651. Be rooted, be powerful, be there.
Getting around LA doesn't have to cost a lot. Metro has fares that fit every budget. 20 free rides for qualified riders through the Life Fare program. Free passes for students with GoPass, and affordable options for everyone in between. Wherever you're going, Metro's got you covered. Visit metro.net/fare programs.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail, and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? what thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail, because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. 10 Toes In serves as a mentorship and domestic violence prevention program. They support, educate, and empower couples during and after incarceration. They assist male returning citizens to re-enter society successfully and to help them maintain a healthy relationship with their romantic partner. They offer a mentorship support group for formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In teaches its Intimate Relationships 101 curriculum at male prisons throughout the state of California. They host sister support group meetings for women who are intimately involved with incarcerated and formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. To access their services or make a donation, please visit them online at 10toesin.org or find them on Facebook or Instagram. They are healing lives through relationships. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-515-4493, 800-515-4493, 800-515-4493.
Hi, I'm Fred Martin, founder of Compton Kids Club. I just want to talk about the authenticity and tell y'all about my homeboy, Tom Steyer. Tom is a rock star. When I met him, Tom gave a grant to schools in San Francisco. All the kids were on probation. We were flying instructors for 2 years to come and help those kids doing performing arts and turning their life around. Some of the kids that he supported, they've graduated from UCLA. Let's fast forward. Tom is in schools in Compton, hanging out with the kids in the piano classes. Brother Tom Steyer hangs out in the studio with us. These are the seeds that he's planted. This has nothing to do with elections. What's coming out of his mouth is not a campaign speech. It's authentic, and when he say he walks away from a business because he want to do his values, he ain't making that up because he's running for governor. This man is real.
Ad paid for by Steyer for Governor 2026.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
You got a big mouth. Hello, Joe, you're up. Welcome.
We're unapologetically progressive, and we don't black down.
That's right. We're not blacking down. Ed Sanders isn't blacking down. And you know me, James Farr, I'm not blacking down. I'm sitting in for Dominique DePrima right here in the Crenshaw District, Leimert Park at KBLA. Miles Lowe is in the studio with me, holding it down in the back. Ed Sanders is joining me. Ed, I always appreciate being in this conversation with you. We're going to power through what remaining time that we have. And you know, Dominique has been, you know, literally the town crier for LAPD to stop these chases, right? These car chases that ultimately, and many times end up with, you know, tragic and fatal and consequences, you know, and we see now that the department is deploying drones, right? Is there anything we should be concerned about with LAPD deploying drones? I know Dominique thinks it's a better solution. I don't disagree with her, but what say you?
I'm not a huge fan of drones, and you know, I remember she and I were having this conversation around the sort of I think it was like the robot dogs as well. Mm-hmm. You know, look, from a officer safety perspective, I think it makes sense. What I raise is, you know, we were talking about violence, political violence earlier. Police forces across this country have been used to wage political violence upon Black community and the brown community in general. And so, you know, we're talking about reforming that and getting that notion and element out of law enforcement. And that's not done. And you're now talking about handing, you know, law enforcement a tool that really desensitizes killing, right? You know, we're seeing that in the military where, you know, it's more like a video game. It's not the, it makes it too easy to do harm to innocents. And that's ultimately what I'm saying.
You're saying about the chases, right? But what I mean, the idea that it could provide that eye in the sky and you know, we got flock cameras in many cities. Like there are so many ways. We have the most private surveilled door cameras in the country. Like there are so many other ways. Not to mention the millions of dollars. You know, LAPD has an helicopter in the air, at least 2 helicopters in the air for up to 20 hours a day. I don't know that we feel any safer as a community.
No, I mean, it's helpful, right? Like from a law enforcement perspective, this is a large area to police. And so, yeah, I get it. And, you know, the point I was getting to on the drones is it's a slope. Like it is a slippery slope. We saw, you know, a drone robot used to deliver an ordinance to kill a suspect that was held up with guns, right? And that's the slippery slope I'm getting at, right? We can have the argument around traffic and, you know, certainly that, but at a certain point, you know, does a drone engage directly with a suspect, right? And that's the slope that I'm worried about in this is and that's why I raised the issue of desensitizing. You know, I think.
No, I'm thinking back in, was that Houston, Dallas a few years back? Escaped
Dallas, I think.
Dallas, the suspect that barricaded himself in the parking structure, and they essentially blew him up with a drone.
Right.
So I get you. I'm concerned about the surveillance and the privacy. I've been, don't judge me, but I've been on a ride along in a helicopter with a local police department, and you know, obviously, the bird, the ghetto bird, is loud, right? So there's no sneaking up. There's this idea that you at least know that the helicopter is in the air, and something that folks may want to know. Police helicopters don't hover, right? That's news helicopters. The police helicopters will stay in an orbiting phase, right? So they just know that. But at least you know that that's what's going on. Drones are many of them, you know, undetectable, silent, and the like. Ed, we are hard on the time. I am so appreciative to you. How can people reach out to you if they want to stay in touch with what you're doing? We've got about 30 seconds.
Oh, I love that. You know, your conversation around the Ask Ed, you know, every 2 weeks on a Friday, you'll hear me on KBLA with Dominique and chopping it up. And we might have to make that a segment, James. But you know, just on the funny side of things, Dominique and I still have this ongoing program where she is going to help me with my social media platform.
Well, when she finishes the curriculum for that master class, I'm next in line because I'm struggling too. And that's Ed Sanders, man. Thank you so much, Ed. For did we give out your Twitter? I know you're more active over there. And people want to
I'm Matt Edward M. Sanders on Twitter, I guess, on Z or whatever the X is. That's the point. Dominique's got to save me.
Listen, and she gonna get you right, so don't worry about it. Ed Sanders, thank you so much. Hey, folks, more when we come forward. Next hour, I am in conversation with Angie Christide, who is a candidate for Los Angeles County Superior Court Judge, seat 14.